Now that we are done with the introduction to NLP, let's go ahead and get started with building our project. Hi, I'm Shanko and welcome back to the NLP with Python course. So what you see here is the Anaconda Navigator, and if you have not already downloaded Anaconda Navigator, please go ahead and download. And downloading it is pretty simple. You just need to type in Anaconda Navigator on Google search bar, and you would get to the official site of Anaconda, and from where you can download it, the version that is compatible with your operating system. And I'm not going to go into the details of downloading it. And we're going to use Jupyter Notebook for our coding. So let's go and open up Jupyter Notebook. So in this course, we'll be downloading NLTK data. We'll be printing the components inside NLTK. We'll be getting a hang of how NLTK works, and we'll be seeing a few stuff that we can do with NLTK, and we'll be reading in semi-structured data from a file. So let's just go ahead and download NLTK data. So I'm going to add a cell after this, and I'm going to say import NLTK, and I'm going to say NLTK dot download. So, and I'm going to press shift and enter from a keyboard. So when we run this command NLTK download, it actually goes ahead and downloads the corpuses, the functions and the components inside NLTK locally into our system, and it opens up this NLTK downloader window. And since I have all my components downloaded, this shows green. And if it is not downloaded for you, go ahead and click the download button to download them, and that might take a bit of time. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to insert another cell below this. So we're going to print the components inside NLTK. So I'm going to say dir NLTK, and that's going to print the components and the functions, the corpuses inside NLTK. And this is an incredibly long list, and I'm not going to go through all of this in this course, and I would encourage you to go ahead and look at some of these components inside NLTK. There's something that I would like to call out. So there's this POS underscore tag. So if you recall, in a previous chapter we talked about the various topics that NLP encompasses, and one of them is sentiment analysis or part of speech tagging. So this component is used for part of speech tagging, and apart from that we have the tokenize component inside NLTK. So when we read in data, Python just looks at it as a string, string of characters, no matter what we are passing in our data or what we have inside our data. Python cannot differentiate it unless we tell Python how to differentiate it. One of the ways of cleaning up data is tokenizing the data. So there's already a method called tokenize, or there's already a component inside NLTK called tokenize, using which we can tokenize our data. But we're going to go ahead and build our own method to tokenize data in this course. And I'm going to add another cell under this. So let's go ahead and type in from NLTK.corpus. So if you press tab, it would give you a set of suggestions. NLTK.corpus import stop words, and I'm going to print the stop words. So I'm going to say stop words dot words, and stop. There are stop words in various languages, so I'm going to go ahead and say English, and we're going to print the first 10 stop words. So I'll start at the 0th position and I'll go through till 10, and I would press shift and enter. So that would give me the first 10 stop words. So these are present inside NLTK, and in a later part of the course we'll actually take a look at what stop words are. So just for the time being, let's try to understand that stop words are words that do not contribute much to the meaning of a sentence. So when we are trying to do sentiment analysis and other stuff like that, these are the words that do not provide much input to the sentiment of the sentence, or these words are sentiment neutral. So these words can be removed from our text that we are trying to build a model out of. Now for this course, we're going to use the UCI machine learning repository SMSSpamCollection set of data, and you can go ahead and download this, and I put the link for this in the description. And it provides a set of data which basically looks something like this. So you have a list of messages which are classified as ham and spam, and we're gonna feed this data into our system or into our model and train our model on this data, and we're gonna test our model and try to find out if a message is spam or ham, right? And you can go to this link. I'll put the link in the description for this data collection or data set, and you can just click on this data folder down inside the download section, and that will download the zipped version of this file, and you can just unzip it and use it for reading the data. So we are going to read this data. We're going to read this file using pandas library, and we're going to form a data set out of it. So I'm going to say data set equals, first we need to import pandas, so I would say import pandas as PD, and I'm going to say data set equals pd.readcsv. So we're going to use the readcsv function of pandas, and I'm going to go ahead and give the name of the file, so that is SMSSpamCollection. Right, and if you take a look at this file has the first thing as the label of whether this message is a spam or a ham. So the first message is a ham, and the message and the label are separated by a tab. So these are tab separated elements inside the file, and we can see we have a few spams as well in the list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and give a separator. So I'm going to say ACP, and I'm going to say \t, so that's for tab, and I'm going to say header equals to none. So since we don't have any column inside our file, everything is a text that needs to be taken into account. We don't have any columns inside this, so I'm going to say header none, and I'm going to press shift and enter, and I'm going to go ahead and print the first 5 records inside our data set. So I'm going to say dataset.head. So it's going to print the first 5 records inside our data set. So we can see we have a column named ham, a column for which we have the labels, so that's for either ham or spam, and then we have another column which holds the message, the actual message. Now we want to give names to these columns, so we can do it using this data set data_set dot columns equals, so the first column is for label and the second column is for text, or we can even call it message. And again, I'm going to print the first 5 records inside dataset. So I'm going to say dataset.head head, and we can see we have the column names as label and text. So under label we have the labels as either ham or spam, and then under text we have the actual text messages. So that is how we can use NLTK, and in this chapter we saw how we can download the NLTK data, and we took a look at the components inside NLTK package, and then we printed out a few stop words that are provided by NLTK, and then we read in a file using the pandas component or using the pandas library, and then we created a data set out of it, and then we put the names for the columns of our data set. And that is all for this chapter, and in the next chapter we're gonna try to explore the data that we have read in, and we're going to take a look at regular expressions and see how they can be helpful in cleaning up the data. So stay tuned for the next chapter. Bye.